everyone. Good morning. Today you're spending the day with me working as a veterinary technician, and we're also talking about my journey as a veterinarian in the US. So, let's start by introducing ourselves. I am Gabby. I'm 27 years old and I'm a veterinarian from Chile. I moved here a couple years ago and I worked as a vet over there for a couple years before I moved here. And I've been working as a veterinary technician for the last 2 years, maybe 3 years. Well, probably 2 years and a half. And it has been quite a challenge, definitely. But I've also learned a lot from it, and I'm very grateful for everything that has happened. So, you're getting ready with me to go to work today, and we're gonna work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. today. That's my usual schedule, but sometimes it's 8 to 4. It just depends on the day and the hours. So we're putting our compression socks over here. I couldn't do it without them, like for sure. It helps with your circulation, and at the end of the day, my legs are not like super tired and I'm not dying in my bed. You can really tell the difference whenever I don't wear the compression socks and when I do wear them. As you can see, my hair is kind of messy and all curly and huge. So I usually wear it up for work, usually with a bun like you can see over here. And this morning I woke up with a very sudden sore throat, and this is the exact moment where I realized that my throat was hurting. But I used some of the calming spray in my throat because we're gonna be talking a lot to those owners today. I'm getting my meds ready now. I have to take them every day because I do have ADHD and PMDD. And this is my beautiful baby. He's my middle child. Her name is Bonnie, and we adopted her when we moved here. So she's originally from Austin, Texas. So we're gonna make our breakfast today. For work, I usually try to make my breakfast and get going because ADHD, I have a terrible time management, so I'm always late. But I usually try to do like quick things, and I take them to work and I have my breakfast in the car, and then I usually finish my breakfast in the clinic. So today we're doing oatmeal pancakes, very easy and yummy because I eat them with Nutella. So I'm gonna start talking a little bit about me. My husband and I decided to move here to the US to seek for other opportunities. I found a job and I was able to move here with my husband. And I think even though we love Chile and we think it's a beautiful country, we kind of didn't see ourselves growing over there. I mean, in the professional way. So we decided to move and give it a try. It's always hard to start over in another country, but thankfully we did have family here, so we were not completely alone. And this is my very handsome husband, Mr. InnerVet. That's how I'm gonna call him. And I went from working at a vet hospital to work as a veterinary technician in a small town general practice. It was kind of also a change that I needed back then because working at the definitely takes a big toll on you emotionally. So when I left, I felt like I needed that break from all of that emotional distress. Seeing a lot of patients dying every week in the very fast-paced and toxic environment too. It was just a lot, and even though I learned a lot, I do think that a year and a half was enough. For sure. I always said that I wanted to be a veterinarian. I think ever since I was a kid. I don't even remember how old I was. But I used to live in a country that that was not the best idea, but eventually we moved to Chile because my family was from there, and I was able to accomplish my dreams. I ended up studying veterinary medicine, and in 2021, I finally graduated. Then I worked as a vet for a couple years in Chile, and we decided to move. So we came here and I started this job at the general practice. And at the beginning, it was a little bit hard because I was used to a very fast paced environment. The medicine that we used to practice was the best medicine possible because we were an academic hospital and we used to teach the future vets. So everything had to be like perfect, basically. And we also performed a lot of specialty surgeries and also routine surgeries, but we had a lot of emergencies and we were like the referral point of the city. So this experience in a small town general practice was very different from that and everything I was used to. But I feel like it also taught me a lot because the other job was my first experience as a veterinarian. And even though we always have to try to do the best medicine, there's a lot of other things to consider, like the clients and the finances of the clients and the resources that we have at the clinic. So a lot of times we also have to think outside of the perfect veterinary medicine bubble. So I was able to learn a lot about that as well. And I'm very grateful for having that experience. And also, another challenge working at this new clinic was the language because even though I was able to communicate in English, learning medical terminology in English was a whole other experience. So it was like starting to study all my school years again, but in English. And another difference is the medications that they use here. They are not the same medications that we usually go to in Chile, so I had to learn a lot of new medications and what they do and the dosages. So it was a little bit hard at the beginning because I'm a very perfectionist person, which I'm not proud of. It has its good parts, but I'm still working on that. So yeah, I was saying that I had to learn all of this new terminology in English, and at the beginning I was like very harsh on myself and like wanting to learn everything in a week. And eventually I just got used to the fact that my English didn't have to be perfect, and I was still able to communicate perfectly with my coworkers and the clients. So if I said one word with a weird accent or I said it wrong, I can always correct it, you know? And that's what I started doing. My coworkers really helped me with all of that new terminology and how to pronounce words and everything. So I'm very grateful that I had that opportunity. And like I said before, since I'm a perfectionist, ADHD, OCD girly, I had to ask them all the time to repeat the words that I didn't know and that I would struggle the most trying to pronounce them. And eventually, I just accepted that I might have an accent, you know, and that my English doesn't have to be 100% perfect. And it's kind of funny now because I still have an accent, and people usually say that sometimes I have a Texan accent too, but I don't know. Like, sometimes I feel like I don't hear it, and people do. My husband does, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. I guess 2 years in Texas has done that to me. I don't know. So, yeah, little by little, I started learning the dosages and the names of the new medications and the names of prevention. And wait, this is a huge thing in Chile because we don't have heartworms in Chile. So, heartworm prevention and the whole culture of prevention was a whole new world for me. And I just had to learn everything from scratch. So, it was crazy. Usually, when I have time, I like to do a couple minutes of yoga, sometimes 10 minutes or even 5. It really helps me start my day with the right energy. And the reason why I started doing yoga, it's because all of my anxiety and stress gets built up in my neck and my shoulders. So I was really struggling with back pain and shoulder pain. So I started doing yoga and that got much better. I still have a bunch of knots that they come back all the time, but doing yoga helps with that. And I also do my stretches at work and at the end of the day, so it's been a little bit better. So it's time to get going. So I'm gonna put my Skechers shoes, which are super comfortable, and I'm gonna start getting all my things ready, my lunch bag and my backpack, and usually I have my breakfast too. But Mr. InnerVet helps me with some of those things. And this is something that we always do when we're gonna go out. He's like, okay, your medication, your phone, your keys, you have everything. The kitchen's turned off. Okay, let's go. He's like always reminding me these things because, you know, ADHD, I forget a bunch of things. So he helps me a lot. So we're gonna start driving to, oops. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start driving to the clinic. We live very close to the clinic, so it's a shame that sometimes I'm late, but I blame it on my ADHD. I know it's still my fault, but I really try. But today we were not late, so everything's good. I usually put my music in the morning and start vibing and getting my good mood for the day while I eat my breakfast. And this was the cutest thing ever. He said, oh, look at the bracelet that Gabby made for me. And I was like, you're showing your bracelet? He was like, yeah, she made it for me. I love him so much. Okay, let's continue with this video. So I'm gonna continue with my story. So yeah, I started working at that general practice, and that one is actually the sister location of the clinic that I work at right now. So after a year working with them, I got promoted and they transferred me to this new location, and I was the lead surgery technician. And this was for sure quite a challenge for me because it was my first time in a leadership position. So I had to learn a lot about communication, and well, I also discovered that I really enjoy teaching people and training. So this was a good experience. In Chile, actually, at the ER hospital I used to work at, since we were an academic hospital, I used to teach as well. So it was very good to mix that with my new position. And I really enjoy guiding people and, you know, like being that person that is always there for the team. I don't know. And also, I guess the position gave me a little bit more of authority. So I was able to make some changes because even though we're in general practice, we still can use the best medicine possible. So I was really excited to start, and the owners really trusted me to make this clinic the best as possible, and that's what I did. And I'm very proud of my job, and I'm very proud of everything I did. It has been really intense, but I also learned a lot throughout the years, and I've met wonderful people. I've learned a lot of things about management and how to run a clinic, and I'm very grateful that I had that opportunity. In this part, Mr. InnerVet was saying, they're gonna think that you're like this only for the video, but you're like this every day. And I was like, yep, this is me dancing in the car while I'm going to work. I think that what I struggled with the most was probably separating friendship from work. It was very hard for me to separate, you know, like being the boss and at the same time the cool friend, you know. I don't know. It was a whole process, but you know, there are some people that take advantage of that sometimes, and I feel like, I don't know, I'm a person who tends to think the best of people usually, and it's awful, but there are some people that take advantage of that. So it took me a while to understand that when you're in a leadership position, it's very hard to maintain relationships and friendships inside of a workplace, you know? So, of course, I had exceptions. My best friend, and I love her so much. She works with me at this clinic, and I feel like it's the best thing that has ever happened to me ever since I started working here. But our friendship was also possible because she was able to separate work from personal life, and we were able to figure it out. And this is Bree, who I was talking about before. She's my best friend. She's like my sister. I love her so much. But yeah, like I was saying, this friendship was only possible because we were both, I guess, mature enough to separate things and to not let work get in the middle of our personal lives as well. So yeah, I'm very grateful that I met her. At this clinic, we have two clinic cats. We used to have Marilyn, but recently, I think like 2 months ago, we adopted a new clinic cat, and right now we have Marilyn and Mango. They are the cutest babies ever. Marilyn is a little bit grumpy, but I don't know why she only loves me. It's kind of weird. Like, she hates everyone, but she's always in my lap and always asking me for love. So I guess I'm her mama. I don't know. It's very weird. She literally doesn't allow anyone to do this, but for some reason, she trusts me. And just like Marilyn, it's kind of my daughter. Mango is like Bree's boy. I don't know. She's like his mom, and it's very funny. So we're getting ready to start the day. We're checking the schedule to see what we're doing today. And actually, today was not that bad. So that's good news for my sore throat. But we did have one surgery. It was just a dental cleaning. So usually the first thing I do in the day is getting everything ready for the surgeries. So I'm gonna start getting the dental machine ready, turning it on, and lubricating the instruments that I'm gonna use, and getting all the supplies for the patient, breathing bag, and everything. So now we're back to the computer, and we're starting to add things for the patient, like the pre-medication and the medications that we're going to send home and everything. We're setting up all the things that we're going to monitor for anesthesia and everything. So soon we'll be starting our dental cleaning for the day. And of course, here's my baby. This is kind of like our routine. Like every time she sees me working at the computer, she's like, okay, it's time for lab love. She's like rubbing her chin in my face, and she does this weird thing where I have to put my arm in the middle of her chest, and she puts her paw around it. And if I change the position of my hand, she will put that paw on top again. So yeah, this is like our routine. And while we do this, we're waiting for our patient to go down because we just gave the pre-medication. And as soon as he starts to go down, we're gonna start our intubation process and everything for the dental. Today, Bree is helping me with the dental monitoring. So I'm going to be taking care of the cleaning and everything, and she'll be monitoring anesthesia. So this baby over here, this is actually the cat from our manager. So, a lot of pressure here. But everything went well, and he was the cutest. So as you can see, our patient is sedated now, and we're going to start the intubation process. So we're going to position the patient and wear gloves. And yes, we don't have a laryngoscope, and I hate that so much. I've been asking for one ever since I started working here, but I guess the doctor just got used to not use it. So I got used to it too, and the good part is that now if I don't have a laryngoscope, I do know how to intubate. So, positive parts. So now that our patient's ready, we're going to start connecting everything, oxygen, and we're using iso flooring here, and I'm gonna start the dental. This was actually not a very bad dental, but he had a lot of stomatitis, like gingivitis and gums inflammation, but it was kind of like everything in one area because of one tooth. So we had to extract only one tooth and the rest of them were good. And I don't know if you remember from this morning, but I woke up with a sore throat and that started to get worse throughout the day. I got to a point where I was not able to talk much. So I kind of wanted to leave early that day, but I ended up staying anyway, which I think it was not the best decision because I kind of stayed in bed for the next 3 days. And that's what happens if you don't take care of yourself. And I have to admit that I have a hard time with that because I don't know, I guess I have this mentality of, like getting everything done as soon as I can and being super productive, and everything has to be done perfect and all of that. I discovered a few years ago where all of that comes from. I guess it's like childhood trauma or something, but maybe that's a story for another video. We had a little bit of sutures left from the dental, and I told Bree I was gonna use them to record a video for the channel, and I even told Bree, you know what, just toss them. Like, I don't have the energy right now for that. But yeah, after our dental's done, we're getting everything cleaned up, and our patient is recovering from anesthesia, and over here I'm releasing the pressure from the machine so we can clean up everything. So back to the computer, we're doing our surgery report and finishing our notes, finishing the charges for the patient so he can go home, and also printing out all the take-home instructions and take-home meds. And I was not able to record a big part of the day because at some point of the day it actually got pretty busy with the rooms. But as soon as it was 5 p.m. it was time to go home, and Mr. InnerVet picked me up, and we always do this. We're just like chatting about our days and how everything went. And I was actually telling him like I was really, really tired and my sore throat was worse. So I was probably gonna get home and take a nap. But yeah, thank you so much for spending the day with me and watching my life as a vet tech in the US. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, and remember to take care of yourselves and your throats because it can get worse for sure. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos about pet health. I'm gonna also include some vlog videos like this one, and let me know if you have any questions or if you would like to see some specific content. I can always take some of those requests and record something fun. So yeah, just let me know. And thank you so much. See you in the next video.